Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. I thought this would be fun. So recently I've been looking at Vulture's Comedians You Should Know list, and I found their 2017 list. I thought it'd be fun to go back and see how they did. This from November 14th, 2017. 20 comedians you should and will know in 2017. I'm doing this cold. Let's see how they did. Their list: Marcella Arguello. Second up, Joel Kim Booster, very famous these days. Third, Nick Sorelli and Brad Evans. Not sure that they cut through. Fourth, Cocoon Central Dance Team. Haven't heard of them, and it's been 5 years now. Fifth up, Naomi Ekperigin. Yep, she's cut through. Sixth, Chris Garcia. I thought Chris was going to totally pop. His album is fantastic. Chris Garcia's comedy celebrates life's weirdness and often takes the form of stories about life as the son of Cuban immigrants who went from being a poetry major at Berkeley to a fast-rising comedian. His album cover is hilarious, too, because he basically copied Paul McCartney's album, McCartney. Chris Garcia's album is called Garcia. He's fantastic, but really hasn't cut through yet. Patty Harrison. Matt Ingebrigtsen. I guess I'm undercutting my own premise that they're really good at this. Sam J has really taken off. Langston Kerman. All right, they're rebounding here. Natalie Palamides. If you haven't seen Natalie's special Nate on Netflix, go do that right now. That is fantastic. Vulture wrote back in 17, some comedians have an innate ability to take a character, heighten it to the extreme, and yet somehow still make it feel real and grounded. Palamides is one such magician, able to disappear into every role she plays. Anyone obsessed with Kristen Wiig, Amy Sedaris, and Kate McKinnon can safely assume they're also going to love Palamides. All right, Vulture's rebound continues here with Joe Pera. He's had a nice solid career. Gary Richardson, not sure he's really cut through yet. Dulce Sloan sure has. Julio Torres sure has. Shane Torres sure has. Liza Traeger sure has. Ahmed Weinberg, I saw his name came up recently. Was he at Toronto? I feel like we just talked about him. Jabuki Young Whites, a little bit. Rami Youssef, sure, we're going to talk about him in a second. So, all right, sounds like they went about 60% there. That's pretty darn good. So since I just mentioned Rami, let me skip further down on my script to the story I originally had third from Vulture. They caught up with Mo Amer and Rami Youssef, and they were like, how did you two meet? Rami said, the meet was at a Brown comedy show at Broadway Comedy Club. Mo had this joke about being made fun of in middle school when everybody was making fun of his British accent. I think that's in his first special, and the punchline was, and that was my teacher. I'd known him forever. When I saw him do that joke, I remember dying at the switch the way he performed it. Later, I'd opened for him, and it was always a part I was really looking forward to when I was watching. All right, Mo, do you remember when Rami made you laugh for the first time? Mo said, still waiting. It's been really rough. They talked about the respective shows. Mo said, Rami's show was so much fun to do, and it gave me such an opportunity to show a proof of concept. It wasn't a new idea, but it was something we had for a while. Certainly, I've thought about my life and trying to figure it out and how to package it. It's such a complicated story with so many layers. Rami said, Mo and I are so different as stand-ups. I don't think our shows are reflective of that. Mo's presence on our Hulu show, and I say our about both because I really feel like both are ours. You can feel his energy. And I think when you watch our Netflix show, you can also feel the marriage of our energies. Making the show was so exciting for me because I had a really great experience getting to direct Mo as an actor in a very specific sense. So it was fun to come in and be like, dude, you just look really good when you're under pressure. How do we jack that up? And we started having a lot of those conversations about how we're going to philosophically make sure that Mo is under that pressure. Mo said, and my response is really easy. My whole entire life has been absolute pressure. It's just a pressure cooker situation. And the show's kind of this release latch that allows me to have these cathartic experiences of things that are very grounded in my life and my history and my family's life. Vulture asked Mo, hey, you've talked before in stand-up about not knowing the line till you cross it. Do you feel like you've crossed any lines on the show's humor? Mo said, I think whenever you're writing a show, you're conscious of so many different things. You're not going to write a scene or build out a storyline without being hyper thoughtful to every piece of dialogue, every word. We rewrote on set so many times, just kept going at it until we got it right. I think that having this thoughtfulness behind it and just focusing on that, not really thinking about where the lines are, what do you talk about and not talk about, it's like, no, there's so much about this show that's for my life. Some of it directly, I think maintaining that thought process and just staying focused in that way will give it so much meaning. I need to finish Mo on Netflix, and I definitely want to watch Rami this weekend. There's also a new FIFA game, and it's Madden season. The hockey game will be out, and the NFL's on Thursday and Monday and Sunday, and the Mets are going to be in the playoffs, and everybody's putting out a comedy special every couple minutes. I don't know when I'm going to get to all this. The Monterey County Weekly talked to Tom Papa. Hey, Tom Papa, you often tell stories through the lens of family. Is it difficult to keep up with your family on your schedule? Papa said, you do what you have to do and you get back home as soon as possible. There's a lot of business travel, or there was before the pandemic. They get back and have to go to the office for 10 hours. I come home and lounge around the house. And under the rules of interviewing Tom Papa, you have to mention bread, so they tagged it with "and bake bread." Tom talked about the bread. I started baking bread as a hobby. Food Network caught wind of it and saw the potential for a show. It was a really fun show. You realize that bakeries got a shot in the arm. Several of them I still have a relationship with. It's a nice world. There are very few people who open a cupcake shop who are bad people. It was delicious and fun. All right, why bread, Tom Papa? It's so simple. I just need good bread and good butter. A lot of fans end up bringing stuff they made and leaving it backstage. I tell my wife I don't need any of it. OnlyFans. Don't act like you don't know what OnlyFans is. You know what OnlyFans is. If you don't know what it is, don't Google it, because then your wife is going to be like, why were you on OnlyFans? Okay, I'll tell you what it is. OnlyFans is a way for adult creators to earn money online, okay? Don't Google it. She's just going to get mad at you. And you're going to be like, I was listening to this comedy show and he mentioned OnlyFans. I was just curious. No one's going to believe that story. OnlyFans announced the launch of Creative Fund Comedy Edition. This will let creators in the UK and Ireland compete for the chance to win a total of £100,000 and appear in a reality competition season on OFTV, OnlyFans' non-pornographic streaming service. What are you doing in the basement, John? I'm just doing research for the comedy podcast. What do you think I'm doing? Variety writes, while continuing to support adult performers, London-based OnlyFans stepped up efforts to recruit mainstream celebrities to its platform and expand into non-sexual genres. It recently ordered a reality show. Comedy Edition will be judged by 3 comedians, London Hughes, Jamali Maddox, and Mae Martin, who will select a short list of 9 finalists. Those 9 finalists will then face a series of challenges to be scored by the judges, culminating in a live performance at a London comedy club. So there you go. That's why I'm on OnlyFans. I don't know what your reason is. And Vulture has their comedians to watch as we bring the podcast full circle. One of the comedians to watch in 2022, and you'll have to come back in 2027 and see how they did. Vinnie Thomas is one of the comedians to watch. And Vulture writes, unlike comedians like Sarah Cooper, whose most famous work is lip-syncing Trump, I'm not commenting. That's just the sentence they wrote. Unlike comedians like Sarah Cooper, whose most famous work is lip-syncing Trump. Or someone like Meg Statler, who plays a version of her comedic persona filtered through a range of character types. Vinnie Thomas is remarkably versatile. I'm not commenting, I'm just reading what they wrote. Vinnie Thomas plays with accents and vocal ranges. His face morphs into desperation, alarm, smugness, and fake delight. Best advice he ever got, walk through open doors, even if they're not the doors you've been waiting on. I don't remember who told me that, but I think about it a whole lot. I love metaphors. Worst advice was when my great aunt, can't believe I said aunt, I'm from Queens, great aunt, whom I love, told me to consider sending Lorne Michaels and Colin Jost a short letter letting them know you're interested in applying for a position. Dear Mr. Michaels and Mr. Jost, I'm writing to you to see if you have any openings at Saturday Night Live. That's me commenting there. Vinnie Thomas said, I do sometimes wish the industry worked like that. I wish it was just all resumes and cover letters. I think that might be better. I'm so bad at networking, I never know where to stand. And that's your comedy news for today. I'll be on OnlyFans researching comedy if you're looking for me here in the basement. And you can follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.